let's take off this rear bumper and see what's behind it. I know it's bad. It's gonna be bad. So we got a lot of rust here. This puppy has to come off. We gotta clean it up, we gotta paint it. Especially on the back side, it's pretty bad. We're gonna have to shave off these heads, and hopefully this thing should come on out. I know there's another bolt down here that's pretty rusted. We're gonna break hardware. We're gonna have to reuse or use brand new hardware on this, but it really shouldn't be too big of a deal if we just basically destroy half of the hardware. All right, so the lower bolt here looks like, I actually tried to remove it and I ended up shearing the bolt, so I'll have to cut that out from the back of the bumper, but for lack of a better term, that's done. Over here, same story. You can see it's gone. But over here, this bolt here is not going to get removed, and I could not get a bolt, a nut, a socket on that to remove it. So that is a lost cause, okay? And honestly, same for that guy too. That's a lost cause. So I need to cut these off right here, basically grind it away, cut it off, cut it off. This guy should fall out, and then I could replace this hardware with something that works, clean this up, paint it, and I'm good to go there. These bumper brackets are pretty rusty, just as much as the actual bumper bracket itself is. So I really want to get these off of here and at least blast them really quick. I want to just clean them up and paint them. It really isn't going to be that hard of a big deal, but I do want to make sure that I can get these bolts off. So you just kind of clean them up, you kind of deburr them a little bit, you kind of know what they're all about. And these are actually Torx. So they're internal Torx. It's called internal. And you just clean them up a little bit, and then you put vice grips on them because the torque part of it is probably not going to be any good. So you want to get a vice grip on it and get like some really good torque on it and just kind of like break it. If you can break it and turn this at least just a tiny bit, you get that started, it's all easy from there. So you just do one at a time, use a lot of lube. I always say that. And then you just kind of break it. When you can do that, then the rest of it just spins right off. So we'll do that to both sides and try getting these bumper brackets off so we can blast them. So on both of these shocks, I was able to get everything out except one. This guy right here did strip. So I need to drill it and then I need to extract it, but that's the only one I got, and that's easy. But after that, all that's left here is just to sandblast these items. Now this is the toe bracket. That's going to be an easy one to blast and paint. And then these guys, I'm actually not going to disassemble this anymore. I did label them passenger and driver. I'm going to sandblast them and I'm going to paint them, so it's going to be top notch. But yeah, I'm just going to keep them like this. So anyway. Oh, of course I gotta blast that one, but that won't fit in this rinky-dink booth, so I gotta do that one outside with walnut shells. I gotta get new media for that, and then blast and paint that, and then start. Actually, I'm not gonna reinstall until I'm painting, so that'll come last. But yeah, I mean, if you look underneath, there's a couple of rust spots that I gotta sand down and do some body work underneath here, just to make sure that there's really no rust at all on this car. That also includes underneath here and getting at these little spots as well. This is all surface rust, which is awesome. It's really not that bad, which is great news. So everything that I've done over here, which is, you can see, I've already done a lot of the rust preparation here. I just need to seam seal it and then paint it over. this here does have a little bit of an issue there, but everything else looks pretty good. I'm pretty impressed. Some of these seals, these seam locations are in trouble, so I got to figure that out. But I did clear away a lot of the rust already, and it was, again, all surface rust. So pretty happy with the results so far. And this is really the last step before I can start reinstalling everything, including the gas tank, back up in here. And again, everything's going to be pour 15, so everything's going to be nice and clean. This is going to come up next. We got to take care of this, replace all these lines, and then you know, just kind of get it back up and running. Huh? Let's just do that. Let's just get it back up. Let's do it. Okay, so recap of where we are. Underneath the car here, we've basically done as much of the seam sealing as we possibly can. We've done rust repair on underneath here, there. We've done up here, and there was another one over here that we replaced as well. And, you know, just essentially cleaned up all the surface rust and then replaced it with the appropriate seam sealer. And now we got a pour 15 this whole thing. So I got some pour 15 here, basically a whole gallon of it. I'm not going to be using the whole thing, obviously, but I want to paint everything from the wheel wells to the wheel well to underneath the car, and probably stop right here, I think. And then when I remove the engine and transmission, I want to do the front half of the car, including repairing some of these items that I found underneath the frame rails. These two were kind of ripped apart, so I got to replace those as well. But before I can really do that, I really would like to remove these lines, right? One's the carbon canister line, one's the fuel return line here. And then here we have two fuel send lines, which I'm going to be replacing with one fuel send line, and then two brake lines, one for each rear wheel. So I got to replace all that stuff basically, because this, it looks like it's not bad here, but then you open this up and you see inside of here, you'll see that actually that's where it gets rusted the worst. This is probably a good example. You can see the rust that's here only when it's at the clamp location. Some more evidence of that here. So there really is no saving these lines at this point. So I want to rip all these lines out and replace them with custom bent tubes, and then pour 15 this bitch. Some of these guys are a little harder to get than others, so you just gotta give it a little bit of a wiggle, and as you're wiggling, kind of pull, it comes right out. Now you gotta be careful with these, right? These are just basically studs with threads on them. These are typically in really good condition. It's these things that kind of do wear out, so when you remove the tube from them, you have to be careful not to break the little end of the clip there. But in this case, I was able to salvage most, if not all of them, which is great news, because they are not cheap, and you know, it all adds up. All these little costs do add up. But you can see here that after removing all these lines here, it's actually pretty good shape. I'm pretty impressed by the condition, even on this side too as well. No real rust underneath or issues, so except that cobweb. But yeah, so I'm in pretty good shape here, I think. These lines are definitely toast, for sure. I do need to salvage these as well, right? Take these off safely, as well as these as well. Got to take them off. And then I can start going on and moving on to the next thing, which is pour 15. not bad. Everything looks really good. It almost looks brand new. What am I talking about not bad? It looks awesome. I mean, it is, so the Port 15 that I used was like a gloss black, and it was, you know, 125 bucks or something like that for the full gallon. Is basically how much I used, about, I don't know, quarter of the whole gallon there. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Pretty impressed. I mean, there's some touch-up areas there. I gotta, you know, take care of some little areas that I might have missed. Take care of the drips and stuff like that. They're gonna end up, you know, collecting over time. But so far, I'm really impressed. Very happy with it. It looks brand new. It's gonna be so much more fun to work down there and then reconstruct all of this full, you know, rear suspension and the gas tank and everything like that. I have everything basically covered up over there. But for now, this is awesome. I'm very happy. Let's let it dry and let's check it out again in the morning.